Welcome back to the second part of Eye on the Money, and today on the show we're discussing how to create a wealth-generating business, and with me to give us the valuable nuggets is Anne Gaither, founder and CEO of the Regal Africa Group. Thank you very much again for making time.
Thanks for having me again.
Now, before we took a break, you were just taking us through how important it is to have a succession plan, just so in case of any eventualities, in case of any foreseen circumstances, everything within your business will still remain intact and it will keep working.
Right.
Now, I have to ask a very important question. Mm-hmm. How important is it to enlist the help of a professional? And in this case, I'm talking about like maybe a financial advisor to pretty much give you, because these people know what they're talking about, right? Yeah. They're pretty much studied. They're not picking, whether it's from experience, they have the knowledge when it comes to doing these things. However, a lot of times when we go into doing business, you'll think, I'm not trying to spend too much money if I don't have to spend the money. So how important is it to enlist the help of a financial advisor, or can an entrepreneur go about it on their own? What would you have to say?
Maybe I'm a little bit biased here because I'm an advisor. But I've experienced this in my career, and of course I went to business school, so right. I understand why a business needs to have advisors. And there are different types of advisors. There are business advisors, there are legal advisors, tax advisors, accountants. There are different ones, but right. we all need them. I always tell a lot of business people, whether you're a startup, an SME, even the large corporates have advisors. Right. If the large corporates and they have great talent in their teams, and yet they actually ask for advisors to come in to help them, then you as a startup, you as an SME, don't you think you need the same thing? Right. The challenge, I understand a lot of it has to do with cost, but I always tell businesses that you need to invest in your business, right? And even if you're starting out, or regardless of what stage you are in, you find the resource that can be able to assist you with what you can afford, right? Because they're different consultants, but right. they offer different price points. Maybe those of us who are maybe, more experienced, then different things will probably charge higher than somebody else. But there's somebody who's going to be able to assist you. And it's very critical because a professional understands business. Business is something that is studied because there are things that are going to make you successful and things that are going to make you not so successful. So a business advisor is able to actually look into your business and actually talk to you and tell you this is based on your vision, because of course you have to have a vision, you have to have a strategic plan. They need to be able to walk with you on that journey to make sure that you actually achieve your goals. But one thing I always tell a lot of business people is an advisor is one thing, they'll come in and walk with you, but the implementation lies with you, right? Because I know a lot of people say, oh, I had this consultant, they came in and nothing changed. Well, they came and gave you the information,
it was up
but
to
you did not do it, right? And that lies the problem. But I always continuously tell more and more advisors to show value, because there's value in the information, there's value in what they do, and I think more and more businesses should take that into consideration when they're running their business, because everyone needs help. We don't know it all. We don't know it all, right? And that's why you actually hire employees to do some of this work. So you need an advisor, and there are different ways you can actually have. Like for myself, I go into companies and I can offer advice to management. You can actually have a board of advisors who actually have different skill sets who can actually help you as a business person. And as time goes by, like I say, depending on what you need and your budget, then now you can get the right people to help you. But I do think it is very important for you to get professional advice. So you actually have to understand this person's education, this person's experience. Will they come in and add value into your business? And if you don't think they'll add value into your business, then there's no point in hiring them.
Let me just say that going off of what you've just said, I don't think you're biased.
I'm not biased, I'm just saying.
No, that explanation made perfect sense. Because you do need a professional. You do need someone who knows what they're doing to handhold you. Now, we touched a little bit on my next question earlier on, but just to give it meat, is it the kind of business you venture into, or is it how you venture into it? Which brought us back to when I was reading out the problem statement. Is it that some people just know what businesses to go into and some people are just going into the wrong business, or is every business, does it have the potential to generate you wealth? What would you have to say about that?
I think every business, if set up right, has the potential to generate you wealth. Because I always tell people a business is when you provide a good or service that people are willing to pay for at the right price, right? So you're solving a problem. So that's why you're in business and you're making money off that. But there have been certain businesses which are known to make a lot of money, right? So if you look at statistics of a lot of the billionaires around the world, they're in the financial service industry, they're in real estate, they're in manufacturing, they're in technology. So typically those industries are where people make a lot of money, but also they are not you cannot easily get into those industries. Right. So there are barriers. Maybe it's capital, maybe it's knowledge. So not everybody is able to venture into that. But typically that is where you'll see a lot of people make money. But I always tell people, if you cannot go in, for example, into real estate and build this master plan project, maybe just be part of the value chain. You're the one who provides paint or construction or cement or something. So understand the industries that make a lot of money and find a way for you to be part of that industry. You can't do it all, but you can do part of it. So I think that's how a lot of people need to start thinking about it. But it could be, I also look at it the other way. There are very many people who have ventured into these industries and they have not made money.
Yeah.
True. Why? Because they did not execute right. And I keep going back to real estate because I keep telling people there are a lot of people who've made money in real estate, especially here in Kenya for the last maybe decade or so. And I always ask them, where are those businesses now?
Right.
They're not in business because they thought short term.
Right.
Right? And then now because we are having a problem in the real estate industry, they've fallen off. And I felt like for a time, everyone who owned land thought they could be a developer. Right?
Yes.
Right? I own land. Okay, I'll put apartments.
Yeah.
Not thinking through, do I need apartments here? Do I need a hospital here? Do I need an office building? So again, it goes back to the basics of business. Before you start any business, before you venture into anything, understand the industry. Understand what will make you successful and what will make you successful. Because you can venture into a business that everyone has been successful and you will fail because you don't understand.
Which brings me back to my point, and in line with what you've just said, then let's talk about the individual. Because you've mentioned there's certain people who go into certain fields and they'll make a killing.
Yes.
Someone else will go into that same field, it will never work.
Yes.
And at the same time, we'll hear like people say things like, oh my God, that person, Anne is such a ruthless business person. Whatever Anne touches turns to gold.
Yes.
And then there'll be this other person who, whatever they touch, no matter what they touch, will just never work out. So my question then is, that entrepreneur, that person who gets it right, what do they do differently from that person who always gets it wrong? Like, what's that quality that an entrepreneur has to have in order to just create that business that makes them money?
I think there are many things, but I'll just touch on one or a few. One, you need to know yourself. Right. As an entrepreneur, you need to know your strength. What is it that you're good at, right? Once you know your strength, then you find a team that then works on your weaknesses, right? But you can't be a person who is an introvert. You don't like telling people anything, and then now you have to go and sell. Right?
You already hate people.
you already don't like people, and then now it's
you
just
have to interact with them.
So what you need to do then, say, in my team, I'll need somebody who loves talking to people, who loves showcasing. So you have to know your strength. You need to know, is this what I am called to do? Is this what I am good at? Because that's going to be the base of actually being a successful business. I also say someone who has a vision. You can't be in everything.
No.
And I find that's what happens to a lot of business. What do you do? Oh, I
sell fish sometimes.
Yes.
I have a chicken business.
Yes.
During the daytime,
Yes.
I run a consultancy.
Yes. So we have this hustling mentality. We
Right.
have this informal way. And there's a place for that. And I always tell people, if you're in corporate or you're working, maybe you have a side hustle, there's a place for that type of thing. But I always tell people, if you're in full-time business, act like a business person. Act like a business person, run it professionally. Because if you run a professional business, you have more access to market, you have more access to affordable finance, and you'll be able to actually do great business, because with business, it's more than idea, it's more than the product, it's about your network. So how do you present yourself to your network? People do business with people that they know, that they like, that they trust. Now, if I can't trust you because today you're selling cars, tomorrow you're in hardware, seriously, like, will will you really deliver? But if I know for sure that what she does is she's really good and this is what she does, then I will give her a chance. Now, it's okay to have maybe 1, 2, 3 things that you're doing, but sometimes a lot of people stretch themselves thin. So I feel like, I believe everybody in business needs to go in knowing this is what my business is, and even if they need to diversify their business portfolio, they go into things that are complementary, that then, you know, it's not too stretching. But I think at the end of it all, for you to be a successful entrepreneur, it's your mindset, and you have to run it like a business. Don't run it like it's
your household.
Even your household, as women, we know you have to run it a certain way.
Right.
But you can't be very, very
laissez-faire.
Yeah, like, anything goes.
True.
You need to know what it is that you're doing, where you're going, what you need to do, and execute. It's all about execution. Yes.
And it's been an absolute pleasure. I can't even say how much. Thank you very much for making time to come on the show. You obviously know what you're talking about, and I hope you'll come back and grace our screens very soon in the future.
Thank you for having me, and call me and we'll talk.
Today evening.
Okay.
That's where we wrap it up today on Eye on the Money. Thank you very much for joining us. You can also be a part of the conversation by going on our social media pages at Metropole TV KE on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Enjoy the rest of your viewing.